I'll show you how I set up. I benched 584 in Australia in November, and I benched 832 in Columbus in March of 2013 in a bench shirt. So the way that I set up is I always start from here. And I'm a big believer in repetition of form. So the more I can make every single rep the same, the less chance I have of messing up. So every time I start from here, I think about what I'm about to do. I kind of go through the mental checklist. I roll back. I always use this. This goes back to when I was in a bench shirt and I was trying not to let the flex come out of the bench shirt, but I always pull myself back here and then I reset. I'm not really bending my legs as much as I normally would, but I kind of cock my legs here and I keep a flat foot position. A lot of people will tell you to bench finger on the ring. Why do you think that is? How many of you heard that? Bench with your index finger on the ring.
Like the widest grip possible.
The widest grip possible, right? They tell you that? The reason that became a popular thought is because of geared bench press shirts. Because in a geared bench press shirt, when you're coming down, as your hands are wide, you're tensioning the front of that shirt and it's making the shirt tighter to give you more rebound. And I'm a real world person, a real world coach. And like I said, I apply a lot of things and a lot of analogies and stories to real world situations. Like I said over there, about somebody kidnapping your kid or something. How would you hit somebody? If you were to hit them in the face, how would you hit somebody? And that's how you're being told to set up on your bench press. Let me hit you in the face a few times and see how far we go in a fight. It's not going to go very far because you're going to kill me. So what you need to do is think, again, I tell you to jump on the deadlift. I'm going to tell you to punch on the bench press. So get in an appropriate punching position on the bench press where you can activate tricep, lat, shoulders, and pecs. Pecs are not going to do much for your maximum bench press. They're probably going to be the least important. The most important muscles are going to be your triceps and your lats. What you want to do as you come under the bar, I call it the 90-degree bench position. I bench with my pinky on the ring. Look at my wrist and my elbow. Where are they at? It's pretty much 90 degrees, right? Kind of like a punch. Well, when I come out to this position, and when I come down, my elbows are pointed out to begin with, and when I come down, they rotate in as I'm loading my lats. And right here, I can hold 405 right here, look up and talk to you all day. Not because I'm so strong, but because my lats and triceps have become so developed over time that 405 can sit here and I can open my palms and hold it. Okay?
In regards to your guys' grip width, all right, we're not going to say put your finger, that it's best to have your finger here, it's best for here.
It's completely individual.
Yeah. What needs to happen is when the bar is on your chest,
it's 90 degrees.
Yeah, that the bar, your wrist, and your elbow are all in line. All right, that it's not elbow out in front, it's not the wrist outside. All right, that's all in line, and that's going to change based on your individual leverages. All right, and based on where you touch on your chest.
This is one of the best tools that I ever found for people to understand where they want to bench. Grab the bar, back here over your face, it's going to feel heavy. Down here against the racket, it's going to feel heavy, but from here to here, somewhere in there's going to be a point where the bar feels weightless. Okay, I know that my hand position is pinkies on the ring, and I'm going to come straight down. Look, where am I? I'm in a 90-degree position, right? That's because the bar feels weightless right here. So if I can find a position that feels weightless, I'm going to maximize this press point. Okay, so there's all kinds of grip variations, and like he said, this out here is not an athletic punch position. For you, as narrow as some of you females are especially, it's going to be a much more narrow grip. It may feel weird, it may feel odd because you've benched so much with your pecs and your shoulders. Now you're going to be transitioning to the tricep and the lats.
A lot of technical changes will be like that. Yeah, some of the things that we told you today, you might have done it and be like, this feels like shit. But it's not something, some things are instant fixes, some things are going to take a couple weeks. And when you're making technical adjustments like that, if right now you're an index finger on the ring bencher, and to put you at the 90-degree angle, you're going to be pinky an inch inside the rings, making that transition from today to tomorrow is probably not a good idea. Move it in a finger next week, and then another finger.
But what we're trying to tell you today are things that I've seen thousands of times over, Chad's probably seen more than I have, thousands of times over. Things that will carry you for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. These are things that you can apply for a lifetime. Not something that's going to get you 40 or 50 pounds today and make you feel good, but then it stops. A lot of people were, like I told these, I think it was the ladies, a lot of coaches want to get you 25 PRs in 10 weeks so they can go tell their boss, hey look, she PR'd 25 times in 10 weeks, and then at the end of 10 weeks, her form is so bad, chasing PRs, that as soon as she leaves his coaching, she's injured. And that doesn't benefit her, it benefits the trainer, because I'm getting the bonus because I got her 25 PRs in 10 weeks, right? The other thing, the single, simplest, greatest piece of advice I ever got for the bench press, ever. How many of you all rep your bench press like this? When you're doing reps, you'll go, what am I doing? Right there, right? I'm stopping. How many of y'all miss this in your competitions? Right there. And you're just like dying for that last inch? That's a bench press. Every single rep, you lock out to a maximum. Because from here to here, put your hand on the back of your arm right there on that lower part, the inside part of your arm, on that lower tricep. What kicks in that last inch? You feel that? So by shortening your lockout and doing those pump reps that give your pecs that good feeling, that little guy right there is going to smack you in the face every time you go for a maximum rep.
And it's you know, a quarter or an eighth of an inch of work doesn't seem like shit for one rep, but you know, when you add that
6 months at a time,
Yeah.
a year, 2 years, 3 years.
it's so much extra total work.
Nope. And that's, you know, that quarter inch, it's kind of like the old saying, ounces become pounds, pounds become pain. You stop doing that right there, you're going to be in a lot of pain because you're going to miss a lot of bench presses right there. You start doing those last couple of inches, those inches become feet, those feet become yards, those yards become miles. So in 2 years, you might do a mile more training with your arms just by doing that. My bench went from a very sloppy 525 to a 584 in a matter of a year and a half, you know, after I started employing that. So, and I'd been stuck at 525 or 500 for years and years and years. So, yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
All right, I think it's the most commonly misdone thing. So in the setup, we want to make sure that the level of the knee is below the level of the hip on this horizontal plane. Because if you're here and I push my feet into the ground,
His butt comes up.
all right, but as I'm here, and it was actually an attendee at one of these who gave us this cue, he asked like a leg extension, and now it was like, yes, like a leg extension, that I'm going to kick my foot into the ground that way, all right? So it's like a leg extension, but rather than my leg moving, it makes my body move, all right? And that's going to drive me towards my traps, which makes the high point of my chest rise, all right? That's what we're trying to do. So I'm set up there, knee below the level of the hip, that leg extension action, high point of my chest rises.
Yeah, leg drive is crucial. So many people just kind of limp leg their benches. If you're not an all-out power lifter, I can understand, you know, okay, whatever. But to uniformly work the body and to give yourself the least risk of injury, you need to employ some leg drive, even if it's minimal. It's just going to help you out. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to get more weight in your hands, and it's going to keep you safer. So let's start breaking it down. So as of right here, this looks like a pretty good grip because this is in line with that. So come on out. All right, touch your chest. All right, he looks like he's a little bit behind his elbow.
So grip width is good.
But not so much. Right there.
On his chest.
How's that feel?
Feels good.
Okay, now press.
All right, so
Good. Now do the thing I was telling you about. Take it back over your eyes.
If you're repeating, you gotta anticipate the press.
All right, now come back out over your stomach.
Yeah.
Now find a point in between there and your eyes that feels like it's weightless.
Otherwise, you know, it looked good. The setup is fine. There could be more tension.
Right there.
All right, so that's where you need to start. Now go straight down.
Everything as tight as possible, like it's
Look, is it 90 degrees there? Now touch your chest.
All right, so it's shoulder
90 degrees there.
super tight.
It's almost foolproof. All right. There is his wrist. There's his elbow. He's at a good 90 degrees. Now take it out and get him back over your face. Find the most easy spot.
The first one is down to stop on your chest.
All right.
First
Come
one
down to your chest.
Stop on your chest.
look, again, 90 degrees. So
we're good
he might,
here.
once he
Bar
starts
versus
getting weight on the bar,
everything in line.
you might need to come out a finger width or a little bit in, but that's where you want to start people. Have them do a lot of their repetitions there and don't change them for a while. You know, give them 2 or 3 weeks to practice that, and if it's just not going anywhere, then make the change. But that's a good starting position.
And try and get the chest up, you know,
Go ahead and grab your normal.
chest to
Everybody,
meet the bar so you
down,
can
grab
cut
your
down the
normal,
range of motion as
okay?
much as possible.
Make sure that you're always doing shoulder work. There's a lot of powerlifters are told you don't need biceps, you don't need the quads, you don't need to do shoulder work. Yeah, you do, because that's where you're going to get a lot of injury.
And almost puts the bar like,
All right, again,
like here.
he's in pretty good position on his chest, so I'm not going to freak out too bad about his starting position. What I am going to do is bring you in one finger.
That weight's sitting on top of your wrist, not being held by your hand.
There you go.
Wow,
All right,
You could move your grip in about a finger
that would
and
be
a half.
close grip.
I'll come down. Well, what you got to remember is you're trying to maximize tricep recruitment and lat recruitment. Come here and I'll show you something. Another lat. Put your hand right there, okay? Now feel this. When I'm benching out here, and I mean, I'm
It's
literally
activated.
right now. I'm going to really show you activation. Put your hand on my lat. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
it's seen activation.
Yes,
you feel that?
yeah.
Okay.
Locked in.
Somebody else. Guy, girl, I don't care.
This is what you gotta pay the big money for.
Right? You feel it engaging? All right.
So then go back and
Now watch
get
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm
Big
cranking
difference.
in.
Yeah,
You feel that?
yeah, big
Okay.
difference.
Now this time, come here. You're gonna push on my tricep. All right, you feel my tricep? It's engaging. Now watch here. You feel the difference?
Yeah,
Way more tricep and lat recruitment here than here. So be mindful of that. When you're touching here, now, I want you to push against my tricep the whole time.
Touch your chest,
All right. Now from here, I'm locked in. Don't push hard. Just feel it. Just feel it. I just had knee surgery, lady.
just feel
Reach
it.
shove me forward. All right, you ready? Now, you feel how much tighter they get as I go down?
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, they're-
That's what you want to do. Is you want to actually engage and corkscrew them in through the lat. Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, lats are like the spring. Lowering the bar,
Yeah.
is coiling the spring. As soon as you get the press command, violent uncoiling.
Yeah. When I push, I flare my lats out. Okay. So it's come in, push out.
The way up is just the reverse of the way down.
Go ahead.
The lats roll in the bench. They do not make the bar move. All right. If you only had one, if we said you only have to do one exercise to get better at the bench, and you don't say bench press, you're wrong. And you can just leave because you're beyond safe. Right? Of course, the pressing exercises are the most important.
Good.
Lat strength, lat strength relates to all the lifts. None of them are a tester of lat strength, but lat strength will improve them all. But having like excessive, you could have excessive lat strength or excessive energy being spent on developing your back strength, where it's like, they need to be strong enough.
it's
you
a
know?
little high too.
Yeah.
but
So you need to bring them up to being strong enough, and there's not a number that I can say of if you can, bend over row this much, then you're strong enough to bench this. It just doesn't work like
Yeah,
that.
just a little bit lower.
But
Good.
It's-
right there.
they're not the competitive lift, and as I was saying over here before,
Good.
all the other exercises, accessories, variations are used to build the competitive lift. They're used to complement the competitive lift. So train your back hard enough to complement your bench press and your squat and your deadlift, but not so much to take energy away from the main work that you can do and take energy away. Your body only has so much it can recover from. So I was liking the central nervous system, but it can be extrapolated out to just the body as a cup. And every stress you impose upon it fills that cup up to some degree.
Good.
Right? And the cup overflows, you're overtrained. So if your goal is to bench press more, why fill your cup up excessively with rows and chin-ups? Get as much in there as you need to, but make sure you leave space for the stuff that actually matters, the bench.
Thumb or thumbless. Thumbless is going to end up at some point probably dropping a bar on your teeth. This can give you some assistance. Like I like to do a lot of rep work with my thumb out, but on a maximum lift, I'm squeezing the bar as hard as I possibly can. Because what that does, watch my forearm when I squeeze, see how it activates the forearm? It engages the forearm, which automatically engages the tricep, it automatically engages the delt. So the harder you squeeze, the more forearm engagement you'll get, which gives you more tricep engagement and so on. So Squeeze the shit out of the bar. There are certain things that I'm always going to say for a bench press. You need the specificity of tricep training. I train my lats every single day because I feel like my lats impact my deadlift. I feel like they keep me upright in my squat. I feel like they help me lower the bar on the bench press. So for me, I always do lats. So
What
that's
do you do for lats?
lats.
Like, what do you recommend?
A good one is barbell rows, dumbbell rows. I love band pull downs. Like I'll take a lat pull down bar and I'll run some heavy bands through the top and I'll pull them down. And my actual favorite is I'll pull them down to the band stop and then I'll rotate my tricep, my elbows in and actually squeeze and try to retract because that mimics the bench press. And that's what I also try to do. I try to engage the muscle in the way that I'm going to be using it. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of these kind of pull downs because that's not how I bench press. This is how I bench press. One of the best bench press or one of the best lat engagement tools you can use is hang a band from the top and put a barbell in it and pull it down to your chest, exactly where you bench press, because that's going to teach you to engage your lats exactly where you bench press.
Standing?
Huh?
Standing?
Laying down. Yeah, laying down on the bench. You want the barbell almost like out of reach, like you want it to hang above the rack. You want it a little bit out of reach, so you have to kind of reach up and grab it. You don't need any weight on the bar. You know, and just looking at yourself where you're deficient, you know. You're always, like I said, I've seen a ton of people with big arms, big chests, big legs that were weak. I've never met anybody with a big back or glutes that was weak. So keep in mind, always do back, always do something for your glutes.
Hey guys, what's up? Chad Wesley Smith here from Juggernaut Training Systems. Check us out at jtsstrength.com and YouTube /CW Smith 52.